Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue à Learn French by SUCHITA. Je m'appelle SUCHITA, votre enseignante de la langue française, and in this video we are going to learn the possessive adjective part 2. Before we begin with this video, I would like to introduce you to my website www.learnfrenchbysuchita.com, where you will find recorded courses for all your French language needs. We have courses for DELF A1, DELF A2, DELF B1, TEF TCF recorded course, French phonetics as well. We have special courses for our school students ranging from grade 5 to grade 8. We also have courses for university students who are enrolled in certificate course or diploma course in Delhi University. And finally, we also have courses for our school students who are aiming to appear for their DELF Prem or DELF Junior examinations. So hurry up and check it out. So let's get into the video, and this video is the second part of the previous video that we had uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you have not watched the video, I'm dropping the link in the card above. First watch that video and then come back here again. So now I'm going to explain you what are the possessive adjectives. It is a little recapitulation of what we did in the previous video, and then we are going to learn something new. So, what are possessive adjectives? Possessive adjectives are the adjectives which show the possession of something. Let's say if I say my, your, my pen, your table, his camera. So, all these words, my, your, his, her, they tell you the possession. The thing belongs to whom. So, that is why they are known as possessive adjectives. So, then I also told you that in English you just have one way of saying. That is, if you want to say my, you just have one way of saying. You can say my pen, my camera, my table, or his room, or his table. You just have one way of saying. However, in French, you have three different ways of saying. And now I'm going to explain you the table. So, my, mon, ma, mes. So, the meaning of all three of them, mon, ma, mes, that is my. Ton, ta, te. The meaning of all three of them is your. Son, sa, se. The meaning of all three of them is either his or its. Then you have son, sa, se again. So that means I can say son, sa, se. The meaning of all three of them is either his or its, but the meaning of all three of them can also be her or its. That I'm going to explain you with some examples in the next slide. Now, so I can say son can mean his, her or its. Sa can also mean his, her or its. Se can also mean his, her or its. Now the next is our. Our is notre, notre, nos. The meaning of all three of them is our. Votre, votre, vos. The meaning of all three of them is your. And leur, the meaning of all three of them is their. And similarly for the feminine also, leur et leur. The meaning of all three of them is their. Okay, so in English, if you say my house, my chair, my table, the word my is not dependent upon the thing that you're talking about. That means if you say my house, my is not dependent upon house. My chair, my is not dependent upon chair. However, in French, it is. In French, my, your, his, her, they are dependent upon the things you're talking about. So let's say if you want to say my house, my would be dependent upon, because you have three ways of saying. You have ways of saying mon, ma and mes. So your mon, ma and mes would be decided according to the thing you're talking about. Let's say if you want to say ma maison, ma maison. So why did I say ma maison? Because the word which is following that is maison, that is feminine. So that is why I selected something which is feminine. If it would have been something which is singular, masculine singular, let's say mon stylo. So I say mon stylo, why? Because stylo, that is masculin singulier. So masculin singulier, that is mon stylo. Do you get that? Now, in this video, we are going to focus upon the second column, that is feminine singular. So I'm going to explain you the feminine one. Ma, répétez après moi. Ma, which means my. Ta, which means your. Sa, which can mean
So sa is there in both of them. So sa can mean his or her or its. His, her or its. All three of them. Then you have notre. Notre is our. Votre, that is your. Leur, that's their. And leur, that's their. So if you see, if you observe carefully, the difference comes till here. Mon, ma, ton, ta, son, sa, Here they are same. Notre, votre, leur. Okay? So in this video we are going to focus only upon the feminine singular nouns. Now I've written few examples here in order to explain you the feminine singular column in a better way. So just grab a notebook, grab a pen, and you're going to solve the questions with me. Now, I am talking to my mother. I'm talking to my mother. So for that the verb is parler, which I've already written, because our goal is not to learn the verb parler, our goal is to learn the possessive adjectives. So I am talking to my mother. So je parle à my mother. So we need to learn how do you say my mother. So mother, how do you say that? Mère. I am talking to my mother. Now reflect in your head. My, three different ways. Mon, ma, mes. Dependent upon the word which is next to the dash. You will select mon, ma and mes dependent upon the word which is following it. So I'm talking to my mother, so you will select mon, ma or mes dependent upon the word mother. Now grammatically, mother, that's singular or plural? That is singular, of course, and that is male or female? That's female, of course. Féminin singulier. So in the feminine singular column, what did you have for my? You had ma. So je parle à ma mère. Okay, you will not say je parle à mon mère. It's je parle à ma mère because mère is féminin. Tu parles. You are talking to your mother. So that means mother, the word mother will remain static in all the cases which I am writing. Okay, the only thing that will change is possessive adjective. You are talking to your mother. Three different ways. Ton, ta, te. Now that would be dependent upon the word which is following. So that's mère. That's féminin singulier. So what was there in the column of féminin singulier? That was ta. Tu parles à ta mère. Il parle. He is talking to his mother. Now imagine the column of his. The row, in fact, I should say the row of his. Son, sa, c'est. Now, if you want to select one amongst them, you will always look at the word which is next to the dash, and that's mère. Again, that's féminin singulier. So, just see in the column of féminin singulier, you have sa. So, a lot of people confuse it that sa is there in féminin singulier, so sa means her. No, dear. Sa can mean his or her or its, all of them. So, il parle à sa mère, that means he is talking to his mother. Because in French, his is not dependent upon the subject. It is dependent upon the object that is following. So, il parle à sa mère. If you want to say, she is talking to her mother. Now, for her as well, you have three different ways. Son, sa, c'est. But you will look at the word which is next to the dash, so that is mère. She is talking to her mother. Her, three different ways. Son, sa, c'est. Mère, féminin singulier. Look at féminin singulier. That would be sa. So that means if I say sa mère, that can be his mother as well. Sa mère, that can be her mother as well. If you say il parle à sa mère, he is talking to his mother. But if you say elle parle à sa mère, that would be she is talking to her mother. Next, We are talking to our mother. Nous parlons à our mother. So for our, you have three different ways. Notre, non. Dependent upon the word which is next. Mère, féminin singulier. So you say, nous parlons à notre mère. Et voilà. If you say they are talking to their mother, ils parlent à, just write down, leur mère. Très, très bien. Vous parlez à votre mère. So a few more examples to explain you the concept a little better. I am talking to your mother. I am talking to your mother. So that would be I am talking, je parle à. Now our concept is to understand how do you say your mother. So that is mère and your is ton, ta and te. Or let's say it, if you're talking informally, then it would be ton, ta, te. We are selecting the informal one. However, if you want to say formally, then it would be votre, vos. So let's talk about ton, ta, te. Dependent upon the word next to the dash, and that is mère. You want to say, I'm talking to your mother. Je parle à ton mère, ta mère, tes mères. Mère, that's féminin singulier. So you say, je parle à ta mère. Très bien. Now, the second example, my sister is going to their house. Okay. Now, my sister. How do you say sister? That's sœur. And that is féminin singulier. So, my sister. Mon, ma, mes. Three different ways. What was there under the column for féminin singulier? That was ma. So, you say, ma sœur, my sister is going to their house. So for there you have again three possibilities. You can say leur, et leur. Leur pluriel. Maison, that is house, that's féminin or masculin? That is, c'est une exception, bravo, c'est féminin. Féminin singulier. So you say leur masculin, leur féminin ou leur pluriel? You say leur féminin. Ma sœur va à leur maison. Okay, now I'm going to talk about an exception which is very, very, very important. So just understand this rule very carefully. Now, if a word that you're talking about, or in fact I should say the word which is following the possessive adjective, if that particular word is feminine and that word is singular and that word begins with a vowel. So that word should be feminine, that word should be singular, and that word should begin with a vowel. If all these three criteria match, then what happens? Then, see, first I'll explain you according to the normal rule, you will understand. If I want to say my school, so for saying my, you have three different ways, mon, ma and me. And I told you that that would be dependent upon the word which follows it. So, école, that is masculin singulier, féminin singulier or pluriel? That is of course féminin because that ends with an E. So, that is féminin and that is singular. So, if you follow the normal rule, that is, the normal rule is that under the feminine singular you had ma. So, it should have been ma école. It should have been ma école because école, that is feminine singular, so we say ma école. But here there is an exception. If a feminine singular word begins with a vowel, in that case, ma changes into mon, ta changes into ton, and sa changes into son. So that means here we will not say ma école. Since école is feminine, is also singular, also starts with a vowel, so we'll apply the change, ma will change into no. So this is wrong. Ma is wrong. You will say mon école, my school. If let's say I want to say your friend. So for your, again you have three possibilities. You say ton, ta, te. According to the normal rule, the word ami, that is feminine singular, so you should have said ta, because this is feminine singular, and under the column of feminine singular for your you have ta, so that makes sense. But the rule is feminine singular and this begins with a vowel, so ta will change into ton. So you will never say for your friend, you will never say ta ami. It would always be ton ami. Okay. Next, if I want to say his image. So for his, you have three different words again. Son, sa, se. For selecting amongst these three, you always look at the word which is next to the dash. Image. Image. Féminin singulier. So according to the normal rule, under the column of féminin singulier, you have sa. But since image begins with a vowel, you do not use sa. You say son image. Even if you would have to say her image, for her as well you have three different options, son, sa, se. But since the word image, that's feminine singular, but that begins with a vowel, again sa will change into son. So son image means his image or her image, because son comes in both the roles. Next, if you want to say our school, or you know your that means notre or votre or leur. So if you see the table, there is no difference there. You say notre, notre, votre, votre, leur, leur. Right? The only difference comes in these three. Mon, ma, ton, ta, son, sa. So for notre, votre and leur, it doesn't really matter because both of them are same. Let's say if you would have to say our school. You want to say our school. So for our, even in the masculine singular column, you have notre. Even in the feminine singular column, you have notre. So both of them are same. You can use any. So for our school, you say notre école. The only difference comes in mon, ton and son. I would repeat it to explain you better. If feminine singular noun begins with a vowel, in that case, you do not apply the rules of feminine singular columns, you apply the rule of masculine singular columns. So that means I can say that the masculine singular column, which was mon, ton, son, notre, votre, leur, the masculine singular column, applies to all the nouns which are masculine singular, but that also means that feminine singular vowel, in the category of vowel, you also include the mute h. So if any word that is feminine singular that begins with an H, that is also counted in that category. You will not say ma, you will say mon, ta, ton, and instead of sa, you will use son. If you like this video, do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and for daily updates and reminders, do not forget to hit the bell icon. And I'll see you very soon with the next video. Till then, au revoir, à bientôt et bisous bisous.